DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Message for the salespeople. You are talking too much. And when I say salespeople, I'm talking people who do sales as your literal profession. I'm talking about any kind of thing you're trying to sell. You're trying to sell an idea. You're selling a concept. You're selling people on action. You're selling people on maybe stopping a certain action. Anytime you're trying to sell people, most of you are talking too much talking. And man, so many different angles I can go to on this. So I'm gonna stay high level on it. It's like this: when you are selling, your only job is to present whatever the thing is that you're offering. Share the virtues of it. In other words, the benefits that the person is going to get from it, or the problems that you're going to solve with your offering, and then ask for the sale. That's it. Now, that doesn't mean that every sales presentation should take 10 seconds. But what it does mean is many of you need to give your person who you're selling to more time and space to speak than what you're giving them now. And in my experience, what I've seen with a lot of salespeople is many of you are doing way too much of the talking. You're not giving your prospect enough time and space for them to talk. And a bunch of you are talking yourselves out of sales because you're talking when you should be listening. A lot of selling, folks, is listening. It's communication. It's not just you speaking and giving people the whole spiel about your thing. It's asking questions and letting them talk, finding out where they're at, because you might have already sold them within 2 minutes, but then you spend 45 minutes talking more about your stuff, and by then their energy's drained. They're annoyed, they're tired from listening to you talk, and now you said so much that you talked yourself out of the opportunity that was already in your hands 43 minutes ago. But you didn't even realize it because you were so focused on giving your speech. And this is a problem that I see happening at all levels. People just talking. And this happens as well with when you're just in conversation with people. I'll give you a rule of thumb that all of you can use, because all of you have experienced this, whether it was you or somebody else doing it. You ever talking to someone and they stop at some point, like they're just doing all the talking, you're not saying anything. You're listening, but you're not really engaging as far as talking back to them, but they're talking. And they pause and say, hey, am I talking too much? Or should I shut up? Or something like that. You ever had somebody ask that? All right, let me give you all a secret. If you ever are having a conversation with a person and you stop and have to ask that, and you feel like asking that question, am I talking too much? You're talking too much. If you even get the thought in your head that you might be talking too much, you're talking too much. So don't ever ask another person that question, because if they're trying to be polite and nice to you, of course they're not going to say yes. But the fact that you're even asking is you telling yourself that you're talking too much. So stop talking. Maybe the person just doesn't want to talk about that subject. Maybe they do have something to say, but you're taking up all the air in the conversation, so they don't have space to say anything back to you. When you are in sales, what you need to be doing is asking questions more than you are speaking. And again, I see this happen at every level, whether it's an amateur salesperson who doesn't really know the game that well, and then it's understandable if they're talking too much. But I see this with professionals, and it actually happens with professionals a lot, because professionals, and when I say professionals, what I mean is people who really know their thing, their subject matter, their product, their topic, whatever. They know it really, really well. They're high level at doing or delivering their thing. They talk too much. And the reason that those people talk too much is because they know so much, is that they feel like they need to tell you every single thing and every single detail, and make sure that you are fully aware of everything that they know. In other words, they give you the entire encyclopedia of what they're bringing to the table, when the fact of the matter is the person who you're selling to doesn't need to know everything that you know, because that's why you're selling to them, because you're going to fill in those gaps. So they don't need all your knowledge, because they're not trying to work with you. They not work with you like they're not trying to be your business partner. They are getting you to do the work. So you're the one who needs to have the knowledge, not them. Secondly, most of the time when people are buying, they're buying for one or two, at the most, specific reasons. They're looking for one or two things. So even if your product does 107 things, they're buying because of one or two things. You understand? So you need to find out what those one or two things are. How do you find that out? Not by giving them a speech about how great your product or service is, by asking questions and shutting the hell up. Again, many of you salespeople are talking way too much, and you're giving people a bunch of information that they don't care about, that they don't need, that they will not retain, and it is not helping you make the sale. So none of it's working. None of it is serving you, yet you keep talking. And this is just a common thing with human beings, period, and all of us are salespeople on some level, is that all of us as human beings are in love with the sound of our own voices. And the smarter we get, the better we get at knowing a subject, the more in love we become with bloviating about all the things that we know. But the best thing that a salesperson does is listen. They ask questions, not talk about all your stuff. And this is especially challenging when you have a lot of stuff that your thing or your offer or your product, whatever, brings to the table. The key thing that I want you to remember from what I'm sharing here in this video is that sales is a form of communication, and human beings, we are where we are. We dominate the world, dominate living matter because of our ability to communicate with ourselves and with others. But you need to remember that communication is not just like what I'm doing right here, talking. And this is a video, you can't talk back to me, so I need to take up all the space in talking here. But communication, half of it is listening. And you will get further, I'll tell you this as a professional tip, you will get further through asking questions and listening to other people talk than you will by blowing people away with the eloquence of your speech, your ability to talk. Doesn't mean don't talk at all. You want to talk somewhat so people can get a feel for you and see how you are and get whatever information you need to give to them. But you shouldn't be talking most of the time, especially when you're trying to influence and persuade another person. You should be listening and letting them talk. And one of the big reasons why you should be listening and letting the other person talk is because most people don't listen. Listening is in high demand but low supply. There are very few people who will actually actively listen to another person talk, because everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to get their thing off, whatever it is that they want to say. So the opportunity in life, everyone, is always in the opposites. Opportunity is always in what other people won't do or are not doing. So since you notice that most people don't listen, your opportunity is in being the person who does listen. So if you want to get better at selling, I'm giving you the tip here. You don't need to develop a better sales presentation. You don't need to run. You don't need to edit your ads, even though you might need to edit the ads that you're running. Best thing you can do to help your sales is shut the hell up and listen. I guarantee you your sales game will improve as soon as you do that. You don't do anything different. Keep everything else the same. Just stop talking so much and start listening. You will make more sales. You will do better at sales. Selling will be easier for you. And the people who you sell to will actually be happier in the process of buying from you. All because you shut up and listen more. Go try it and tell me if I'm wrong. With all that said, Work on Your Game University, that's the place where I do all my coaching. So if you liked what you heard in this video and you want to get more like this, and you want it tailored specifically to your situation and what you're doing, and you want to know how I could help you with that, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. That link's down below in the description. I will help you become a better salesperson, which will help you do basically everything you do in your life better, because all life is sales. Work on your game. Dre all day.